with Pilates On Demand. Welcome to your Pilates for Spine mobility and strength. So this class is going to be exactly that, some stretching to get the body more mobile and also some body weight Pilates style strength moves to get the spine stronger, which will make you feel a lot better throughout your day and your week. So we're gonna get started. You just need a mat, no other equipment, and we're gonna take a seat to get into this class. So cross your legs. If sitting like this is not comfortable, you can sit on a pillow or sit in a chair. You just need to be nice and upright in your back. And we're gonna do something called lateral flexion to start. This is side bending. This whole class, we're gonna be just moving that back in all different directions, getting it more mobile and feeling good. So let's place that right hand over to the right. Instead of leaning onto your right hand, I want you to think of more so pushing off, so your opposite hip stays heavy, and then stretch that left arm up and over. So again, I'm not leaning into it, but rather pushing off of it. Find an imaginary wall behind you with your chest, your head, and your top arm. And then let's roll all the way up and take this on the other side. So left fingers point left, push the floor away, anchoring that right hip, and stretch that top arm up and over. Finding a lot of length even through your right elbow. Leaning the head and chest back in space. Okay, we're gonna take this dynamically. So keeping those hips still, inhale, stretch up and over to the right. And then roll through the spine, inhale, stretch up and over to the left. Good, so oftentimes in a side bend, I sometimes see people fold forward and round forward. So if anything, think more so leaning back in space. That's gonna help you get more length and more stretch through the side of your back. Okay, if this is really intense for you, you don't have to go that far over. You can stay more upright like this. If you're really mobile and you're dropping all the way down to your forearm, I just want you to be conscious of your opposite hip lifting. So make sure you don't go this far down if your other hip is lifting up. Okay, but you totally have the option to take it there if you're able to keep the form. Okay, we're gonna take a couple more. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, use your core to come through center. Big breath in. Deep breath out, last two. Good, last one. And then rolling it up. Okay, so for some seated cat-cows, interlace your fingers in front of you. Rock to the top of your tush. You're rolling back and push your hands forward. So your shoulder blades are spreading. I'm reaching through the heel of my hand rather than pushing just my fingers forward. This is helping me spread my upper back muscles. And then my upper back muscles are going to drop down and come together as I lift really tall through my spine. Now I want you to exaggerate this. Use your core, use your powerhouse, and get taller. Lift up. Exhale, tuck your hips, round your chest, and spread the back muscles away from the spine. Inhale, lifting up tall on the sits bones. Arms lift up, so I could be here, or I could use that extra little bit of effort and then lift another inch taller. So I want you to try to find that. I'll show you this from the side. So we rock back on our sits bones, tuck the tailbone under, spread the back muscles. Roll up onto our hips, lift tall, maybe even look up a little bit. Lift the spine towards the ceiling. Good, let's go two more each way. Exhale, belly button to spine, stretch the back. Inhale, sit tall on the tailbone, lift the torso out of the pelvis. Woo, that feels good. Okay, one more each way. Exhale, round. Inhale, big lift. Lift up, and then release the hands. Okay, now we're gonna go for twisting. I'm gonna stay sideways for a couple. So I want your hips pointing straight forward the whole time. You don't wanna feel like your hips are sliding on the mat. They're completely still and anchored. On your inhale with the palms in, reach up and find that height through your spine. Take your right hand to your left knee and your left fingertips on the floor behind you. Now use your arms, pull with the right hand, and push the floor to the left with your left hand to turn your waist. So your arms are really what's gonna help you turn your chest. And keep in mind, we don't want this to just be the neck. Yeah, you want to get the top of your torso to turn with you. Releasing through center. Inhale, we lift up. Go for it. Use your core strength. Find the height in the spine. Then let's twist the other way. So left hand to the right knee, right fingertips on the floor behind you. Pull with your left hand and push the floor to the right with your right hand. Turn your ribs. Okay, we're gonna go through this dynamically. So we'll inhale, lift up, palms face in, find the height through the spine. And then exhale, turn to the left. Grab your left knee with your right hand, left hand foot to the floor behind you, and try to get the right side of your chest to turn. Drop your shoulders, lift up through the spine. And then release through center. Inhale, reach up, get tall. Exhale, twist it to the right. Okay, let's use our fingertips, right fingertips, to push into the floor to also grow the spine. And then keep twisting. Try to get the left side of the chest towards the back wall. Okay, one more each way. Inhale, lift. Get an inch taller, look up. Exhale, twist left. Turn your ribs. Isolate the hips. Look over that back shoulder. Inhale, big lift through center. Exhale, big twist to the right. Turn from the waistline. Stabilize the hips. Look over that back shoulder. Good, then slowly release through center. Awesome work, guys. Okay, so we're going to just take your right leg into a butterfly position and take your left leg in front of you to a 3/4 bend. It's in line with the hip. So we're going to take either holding the opposite wrist underneath the left thigh or the opposite forearm. Your goal for this is to straighten your back. So if you're a little tighter here, hands are underneath the left leg, holding the wrist. You're gonna pull against the wrist and see how much lift, oops, that's the mic, see how much lift you can get through that lower back. So your goal is to sit up really straight, and I'm using my arms to help me. If this is easy, you can grab the forearms and try it there. If that's easy, you'll straighten the left leg a little bit more. Extend your spine and reach your hips back behind you. So I'm not going for a hamstring stretch, even though you may feel it there. I'm really trying to work this area of my low back, so get more mobility there. So think of trying to stick your tailbone to the back of the room, open your chest and connect your back muscles. So your belly is pressing against your thigh. Good, and then release, and let's do that to the other side. So left leg to butterfly. Right leg is to a little bit of a bend, 3/4 of a bend, either grabbing the opposite wrist with the opposite hand, pulling against the thigh and sitting up straight. So focusing on the lift, and then folding your belly flat to your thigh. So you don't want to think a scoop in the core, so not a concave back, but a flat back. Maybe you grab the forearms, and then if the spine is straight, you're leaning into it, reaching your chest over your front foot. Good, pull up, think top of the head reaching towards the ceiling. Good, okay, so we're gonna try both legs now. If that was enough, you could just stick with the single leg. So we're gonna have the feet flexed, little bit of a bend in the knees, grabbing the opposite wrist, pull against your legs and straighten your back. Pull the navel in, set the shoulders down away from your neck. Okay, if that's feeling good, we're leaning into it. And then you also have the option to grab the forearms, so a little bit closer to the elbows on the arms, and we're pulling up. Okay, if your stomach is completely touching your legs, you can move the legs out a little bit further to intensify this lower back stretch. Woo, I definitely feel this in my low back. How about you? Good, so keep extending the spine. Let's take 3 more deep breaths in. Good, finding more and more length, pressing your abdomen into your thighs. Good, one more breath here. Nice, and then we're gonna gently release. Okay guys, we're taking this onto our stomach. I hope everything is feeling nice and warm. We're gonna do one extension exercise that's more mobility, and then we'll get a little bit more into strengthening. So laying flat on your stomach. Okay, we're gonna have the hands wide to the outside of the ears. Your hips are tucked under. So it's important that you do not dump your belly down and lift the front of your hip bones up. That's gonna tighten your lower back, and we wanna lengthen the lower back. So press the pelvis down, lift the belly button off the mat, or have the idea of that. Press into your palms and roll up. Okay, walk both of your hands to the left without shifting the hips. Then walk both of the hands to the right without shifting the hips. I know that's actually really hard. And then we're coming through center, and we're gonna roll it down. Good, inhale, rolling up. Good, expand your chest, connect your back muscles. Walk the hands left, keeping weight on both hips. Walk the hands right. Come back to center and roll it down. Okay, we're gonna go 2 leading with the right. Inhale, roll it up. Walk both hands right. Pull the sternum through the arms. Walk both hands left. So make sure that collarbone is open. Come through center and roll it down. Okay, 1 more. Inhale, we lift. Think chest expansion exercise in your upper back and chest. And then walk it left. And then come to center and roll it down. Okay, so we're going to do some arm movements with our extension. So the hands with the palms facing down are gonna come right behind the back of your head, but they're not really resting, so I don't want there to be weight on your head. Let your elbows and shoulders and forehead rest down. As you take an inhale, you're gonna lift your chest and lift your elbows by squeezing your upper back together. Take your arms and reach them wide to a T. Keep reaching back behind you. Flip the palms up and then bend the elbows and place the back of your hand on your lower back. And then release everything down, even letting the shoulders round. Now as you lift up again, unround your shoulders, then reach back out to a T, coming to where we started. Palms face the back of the head, elbows wide, and then as we lower down, let the shoulders and elbows rest. Inhale, stretch the chest open, lift up. Arms reach out to a T, circle all the way back and around, palms flip up. And then release everything down. Inhale, open your chest, spreading the shoulders. Reach the arms all the way back around. Palms are gonna face the back of the head. And we lower it down. Good, inhale to lift. Circle the arms around, pulling the shoulders away from the back of the neck. Palms face the ceiling. And we lower down. Good work. Last time through to finish. We lift, connect the upper back muscles, circle the arms all the way back overhead, palms face the low back, and we lower down. Good, now just give those hips a little shift right and left. We're gonna take this into a side bend. So it's like doing a little oblique crunch, a side body crunch, but everything should stay square to the floor. So nose and belly button will point down. There's no twisting for this exercise. So we're gonna take the fingertips to the back of the ears, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, we're lifting the chest up. With your nose facing the floor, reach your right hand back behind you so the palm faces the right thigh, and lean over to the right. Nose still points down. Come back to center, bring your right hand behind your head, and then lower the chest. We're gonna take it to the left. So we lift. Reach the left arm back, palm's gonna face the left thigh, and we're gonna lean left. Come back to center, bring the left fingertips to the ear, and we lower down. Good, inhale, lift up, pull your back muscles down off the back of the neck, side bend and reach to the right. Come back through center and lower down. Okay, 3 more. Inhale, left. Side bend, reach left. Back through center, lower down. Good work. Lengthening through that lower back. We lift, so we're creasing at the mid back. Side bend right. From center, lower down. Last one. Inhale, lift. Side bend left. Come center and lower down. Good work. Shake it out. Remember, you can always take a child's pose if it's getting a little intense for you in the lower back. So we're going to take this into a twist now. You're going to twist your chest, so your nose and the center of the chest will turn, but your belly button and your hips will point to the floor. So that's our fixed point. So let's take those hands behind the head. Okay, as you inhale, lift your chest, turn your chest to the right, and place your left elbow on the floor like a kickstand. Reach your right hand to the back right corner of the room, and send your right front of your hip into the floor. So we're turning the waist. Bring the right hand to the back of the head, square your chest through center, lower down. Okay, let's take this to the left. So lift the chest, twist left, prop yourself up on your right forearm, and reach the left arm to the back left corner without leaning over too far and lifting the left hip. So keeping it down. Good, come through center, and we lower down to the right. Inhale, lift, twist right, propping yourself up on your left elbow, extend the right arm to the back right corner, take a big stretch, bring the hand to the back of the head, and lower down. Inhale, lift, twisting left, stretching back through that left arm, finding length. Bring the hand back to the head, and we lower down one more time. Inhale, lift, twist right, reach back, squaring the hips. Coming back through center, lower down. Inhale, lift, twist left, squaring the hips, reaching back through that left arm. And then slowly, we're gonna bring the arm around and lower down. Good work. Okay, guys, let's do a child's pose. Now, I want you to be active in this child's pose. So hips to heels. When you reach your arms forward, walk them so far forward that your elbow cannot rest down. So reach through the arms. Then imagine someone's hands are coming from behind you, pulling your hips towards your heels. So this is helping stretch our back. The arms are reaching forward and your hips are reaching back. Finding a lot of length through the spine. Good. Tuck your hips and lift your belly and ribs up. Good. Spreading the muscles in those shoulder blades apart. Good. And then let's roll it all the way up to all fours. Okay, so a little bit of a wrist stretch here with some upper back mobility. If this is really tight, you're gonna bring more weight into your heels as you do this, more weight into your hips. So take the top of the hands and flip them to the floor. So the palms are up, your fingers point towards your knees. Push out of the floor and round the back for that angry cat stretch. We're just gonna hold this stretch right here. So there's a big widening feeling in the spine. Your upper and lower back are spreading away from the midline. Head is just free. Fingernails click down. Elbows are lengthening as much as they can. So if you're really tight, you might be here, and that's okay. But if you can, straighten the arm. Push out of the floor with the top of the hand. Good. Okay, release. Now palms down, fingers point to the knees. Take your hands wider than you normally would, so wider than shoulder distance. Pull your shoulders down, and then let's take this into back extension. So the chest comes forward and your hips lift up. If you want more, you can bring the hands further forward, but keep them wide so there's a lot of space for your chest to slide through your arms. Good, and then gently release. Okay, so we're gonna take this into a side lying position. So come over to lay on your left side. Just make sure you've got space behind you. We're going into a dynamic twist. So laying over on your left ear, if your head doesn't reach the floor, just put a pillow underneath your ear. Take your bottom arm, your left arm, and hold your top leg in place. I want your knees to stay stacked the whole time. So when we move for our twist, your knees should not move around. So use this left arm to keep everything still. Right arm reaches forward, and now arch your back, booty back, chest forward. Circling the right arm overhead and then back behind you, roll open into a twist without your knees moving, and then continue the circle. The arm is down by the legs. So do a couple of those. Inhale, reach up, really lengthen, straighten that elbow, then turn the chest, reach back. Woo, that feels good. And circle around. This is one of my favorites. This one is also really good for some shoulder mobility. Big breath in. Keep that twist. Every time you go back into this twist, try to look back towards your right hand. So I'm going to turn the whole upper body and circle it back around. Let's do 2 more in this direction. And you should feel like each repetition that you do this, you're able to twist a little bit further. Okay, last one. All the way up and around. Good, and then let's reverse it. So now your right arm's gonna start going down. Reach back and actively reach back for the back of the room with the palm up. Reach overhead with the palm down. Okay, keep that arch in the lower back, just making sure that the pelvis doesn't go into a tuck. Yeah, so we want length through the abdominal wall. Big breath in. Circle up and around. Deep breath out. Let's do 3 more. Check your knees. Make sure that top knee hasn't slid back. And 2. Good, and then last one. Inhale, big twist up and around. And exhale all the way back through. Oh my gosh, how amazing does that feel? Seriously. Okay, so we're gonna take this to the other side. So just make sure you have space behind you and overhead. And if you need a pillow for that right ear, place it there, because I don't want your head just kind of like suspended in space. I want you to be able to relax down into it. Okay, so our knees are stacked, and I want you to lengthen your belly. So we don't want to feel like we're shortening the space here. So lengthen the belly. That's going to give the lower back that natural arch. And take your right hand to hold your legs in place. See that the knees stay stacked. Reaching the left arm forward, we're going to stretch that left arm all the way overhead. Keep circling it down and around. So I need a little bit more space. I'm just going to slide it down. Okay, so we're going to inhale, take that circle. Reach all the way back behind you. And try to really get that left shoulder blade onto the floor behind you. And then we circle forward and around. Inhale, reach overhead, opening that chest up towards the ceiling. And then working your way all the way back to the start. So we're making this big shoulder circle through that top arm and bringing those right ribs, those bottom ribs, to the left, to the back of the room as we twist through the waist. Big stretch up, circle back and around. Inhale, reach overhead, turning the chest to the back of the room and really trying to get both sides of the chest to the back of the room. Okay, let's take this all the way up and around, finding that big stretch to the back. And reverse it, sweeping that arm down, flipping the palm up as you reach to the back wall, reaching overhead, flipping the palm down, and then circling back in front of that shoulder. So we want to feel all of this movement in the waistline, working to stabilize the legs, hips, and pelvis, and moving with our breath. I want you to take that inhale as you circle the arm back and around, flipping the palm up, thinking of your knees and your back hand going in opposite directions for that twist. Good work, guys. Inhale, open chest, twist. Exhale, square the chest through center. Nice work. So press on up. We're just gonna finish with a couple seated moves. They're similar to the ones we started with, but we'll make them a little bit more intense with our arm placement. So sitting tall, whether you're in crisscross applesauce or in a chair, take your hands behind your back. Oh my gosh, can you already feel how much better your back feels? I'm definitely feeling that. Interlace your fingers, relax your shoulders down, and then push your head back into your hands. As you do this, lift your sternum up. So lean the head back and lift your chest up. Chest goes forward and up. We're doing our cat cows again. And then exhale, chin to chest and rock back on your hips. You can let the hands be a little heavy on the neck to stretch the back of the neck if that feels okay. Inhale, grow the spine and lift your chest. Lift, 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 lift. Gently lean the head back in space as we drop the shoulders. And then exhale, round it out. Tuck the hips, drop the chin. 2 more times. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Imagine someone's hand is at the center of your shoulder blades and it's pushing them up into your body. That's what you want to feel. And then exhale, round it out. Inhale, lengthen and lift. And exhale, scoop and round. Restack the spine. We're really tall, shoulders drop. Keeping your hips completely still, side bend over to the right so that your left hip is heavy and your left elbow reaches up. Bring it through center. Side bend over to the left so that the right hip is heavy and the right elbow reaches up. So you actually have to use a lot of control for these, because if we just completely release into the stretch, like we'll just kind of collapse and fall over, our hips will lift. So think less is actually a lot more challenging for the strength of your obliques and spine and the mobility here. So really think no weight shift in the hips. Let's do 4 more. For 4. Good, last 2. Nice, 1 more. Last 1. Okay, come straight back through center. Now we're taking the twist. So head back, tall through the spine. Turn your waist as much as you can to the left and push your head back into your hands. And then come through center. Turn your head as much as you can to the right and then lift up. And center. Exhale, rotate, lift up, get taller. And center. Exhale, rotate, lift up, get taller. 2 more each way. Breathe out. Inhale, lift, come center. Breathe out, twist, lift, and center. 1 more each way. Rotate, lift, center. Last one. Rotate, lift, and center. And gently release. Okay, so we're simply going to fold forward. So just crossing at the ankles. And then you're gonna reach your arms forward. And I'm gonna let you just find a comfortable position. We did a lot of straightening the back. So maybe you do a little shifting right and left here, side to side, sway it out. If you're tighter and you can't lean forward, you can put your hands behind you and that can help you lean into it any amount. But let's take that little twist right and left. We're just kind of releasing what we just did to it. And this should feel pretty good in that lower back area. Good, and then bringing it through center, I just want you to switch your legs so that it's even in the hips. Whatever leg is in front gets, that hip gets a little bit more of the stretch. So we're coming forward, we're folding down, we're swaying it right and left. So if you're really loose in this position, you can bring the arms further out and sway right and left more so like this. So there's all sorts of options, whether you are newer to this and a little bit more stiff or more advanced and looser. Just release that back. Good, and then find center, walk it up. You guys did so awesome. I hope you enjoyed this Pilates for spine, mobility, and strength class. I'm already feeling the benefits, so I hope you are too, and I would love to hear how you're feeling right now in the comments, maybe which exercise you felt was like the most useful for you. I'm super curious, and I would love if you could hit subscribe for me below. It's completely free. It's just gonna let you know the next time I have a new free class that is out for you to give a go. So I will see you guys on the next one. Again, my name's Lindsay, and this is Pilates on Demand. Bye guys.